Assalamu alaikum, Imam Asif. How are you doing today?
Walaikum assalam wa rahmatullah. How are you?
Alhamdulillah. So today I wanted to go over basically fasting can obviously be daunting for a lot of people, but it's required, it's mandatory. However, in the Quran, when Allah talks about it, He mentions there's a few reasons why we don't need to fast. And so if you could go over some of what those reasons are, so inshallah we can benefit from that.
Absolutely. So there are a few reasons when it will be considered as a legitimate excuse not to fast. One is obviously, as Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala himself mentions, if you are a traveler, musafir, if you're traveling, then you don't have to fast. Even though if you want to, that will be acceptable fast, but you have an option to leave and to make it up later. Now, there is a discussion, obviously, what is better if you're traveling and if there is no hardship. Is it better to leave still, or is it better to continue fasting? Then humbly says it's better to leave it because Allah will become really happy when you take benefit from His concessions, rukhsa. But majority says no. If there is no hardship, then you should. It's recommended to continue fasting. But if there is hardship, everyone agree that in traveling you should basically take benefit from the concession of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and not fast and make it up later. So that's first thing. First for the traveler. Second, for the sick person, because Allah says, "Faman kana minkum maridan." If you are sick, then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives you exception. You are exempted. You don't have to fast. Again, there is a lot of discussion. What kind of sickness it have to be? The scholars came up with few conditions. One is that the sickness will be made worse by fasting. If that is the case, then you should not fast. Second condition is that recovery will be delayed by fasting. Then you should not fast. Third is that fasting will cause intense hardship or harm. And even if it does not make the sickness worse or delay recovery, but still it will going to give you harm or hardship, then you should not fast. And fourth, the scholars also included those who fear that they may become sick because of fasting, they should not also fast. And then some of the contemporary scholar added, if the doctor have advised you, some people say trustworthy doctor, whether it's Muslim or if we are living in a non-Muslim country, it have to be trustworthy doctor. If they advise you not to fast, your primary care physician, then you should just listen to their advice because they are expert in their field, and you should definitely follow their advice. So this is for the traveling and sick person. The other categories are menstruating and postpartum bleeding. If that's the case, then our sisters should not fast. You are exempted. You can make it up later. Old person, you don't have to fast and put yourself and your health in trouble. You can basically pay fidya. That's $10 for each fast. To the poor person, then even scholars say that if you have an intense hunger or thirst, that even though you started your fast, but not because of sickness, but now you have developed that intense hunger or thirst because of your work, and you know that if I won't break my fast, or extreme necessity, that if you know that if you won't break your fast, eventually you will harm yourself, then actually scholars gives permission in this case to break your fast and make it up later. So yeah, this is and by the way, the nursing woman and the pregnant woman, they are also exempted not to fast. And then there is a disagreement whether they should make it up later, or they can only pay the fidya $10, or they can do both. So if you want, I can go into details in the next because this requires some discussion, inshallah.
Okay, inshallah. And just to follow up, what age are we supposed to fast from where it becomes mandatory?
So it have to be the puberty, and puberty there are a few signs of puberty. One is obviously for the sisters it's menstruation, but for the men and women both, it can be wet dreams. It can be according to some scholars, the hairs in the public area, if that comes. Some of the Malikis and Abu Yusuf are going to say the voice changes all of a sudden for the men. And if nothing is happening, then eventually, if none of these signs will come, then eventually 15 years according to majority.
Okay. Okay, inshallah. Thank you for clarifying that. We'll see you tomorrow, inshallah. Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum.